I'd like to call a meeting to order with roll call from my right.
William Mills.
Derek Roy.
Matt Rose.
Bertie Gallo.
Mike Esposito.
Josh Riley.
We have a quorum. Everyone please rise. Mr. Roy will lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to say we have a new member present with us tonight, Bill Nichols. We'll see them and see how we accomplish or don't accomplish things. Welcome, Bill. Okay, first item on the agenda. Oh, by the way, before we start, when you're through speaking, if you turn your mic off, and allow someone else to jump in and speak, all right? Thank you. First item on the agenda is old business, 48 Blue Mountain Road, regulated activity 938.
Good evening. For the record, Dennis Rubicus, Artel Engineering Group. We also work with Connecticut. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. The applicant is still awaiting information from the mortgage company and bank and such. And we're still waiting to make the necessary modifications to the plan. So at this point, we just wish to table the application to the next regularly scheduled meeting. This is from McDonough,
Oh, yeah.
1548 McDonough.
Mortgage company is on staff?
I'm basically waiting for the mortgage company and the client to decide.
You would like a table?
Yes, please.
Need a motion to table, please?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to table regulated activity 938 to our next regularly scheduled meeting on December 12th.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to table regulated activity 938 till 12/12/28. All those in favor, vote usual way.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is regulated activity 723 RRR, 193-207 Great Plain Road, Savannah Hill subdivision.
Good evening. For the record, Mike Mizuko, professional engineer. My office is in Danbury, representing the applicant. Last time we were before the commission with the application, we were just awaiting some information and feedback from the planning commission. We did revise a set of plans, but it was really to address some minor concerns from the engineering department. And during that time, which has been quite a while, we were really just waiting on the traffic engineer to give his input on the realignment of the roads, which this commission was very much in favor of. But they had some questions, but they finally, everybody gave their blessing. The application at the planning commission was not approved, but they closed the public hearing. They're waiting. They couldn't approve it without, or make a decision without a decision from DIC, so they're just really waiting. We did get Dan's report today. We were waiting for the B100 to be reviewed by Peter Dunn for the lot line revision, so the realignment of the road could take place formally, and that has all been done. So that's where we are.
Anyone have any questions on this? This was back a ways, but since Since the original petition, we bought another lot and
Just bought the lot adjacent to it and did a lot of revisions, so we could move the road to the north about 100 feet, or over 100 feet. And we eliminated that large waste retaining wall that we had adjacent to the well.
any questions by anyone on this? Everyone up to speed with what we're talking about? So I'll entertain a motion to approve the summary.
Point of order through the chair. I just wanted to read my report into the record. For the Health Department, Danbury, I'd like to put into the record the determination of project impact report. The purpose of the proposed alignment of the realignment of the subdivision road will result in less impacts to wetlands than the improved plan in the existing EIC permit. So staff recommends summary ruling to approve the 9 conditions in the last 2 pages of my report.
Sorry I skipped you, Dan, let's do all the standing if we're going to do it. I'm trying to take a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Savannah Hills 197-207 Great Plain Road summary ruling with the number 8 conditions of approval. 9.
If I may, through the chair, I have a question for staff.
Okay, you can make this motion second and get your question.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the summary ruling and the 9 conditions. Questions?
Thank you. Is it possible, Dan, for us to add the stamp to the stormwater drains on the site? I didn't see that in the conditions.
Yes, it's possible.
We could make an amendment to the,
I'll amend the motion to include this stamping and screening of the stormwater drains.
All second.
Motion made and seconded to approve summary ruling with 10 conditions instead of 9. The last one was just added. Any remarks or questions on this? Yes.
I only see there's only 8 here. I don't know if I'm asked to do it, but I don't have that listed.
the new condition added only total of 9. Thank you.
You're correct.
Amend to a total of 9
9 conditions.
conditions to approve.
Mr. Chairman.
All those in favor of the summary report, make motion to go the usual way?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is 63 Tagan Point Road, regulated activity 941, summary ruling. Anyone here this evening on this?
The record, Ralph Gallagher, representing applicant. Mr. Leonard, he couldn't be here this evening. We accomplished everything we needed to do for, we get a better copy of the report. Yes, I did. I do have a copy of the report. We should be all set. Not unless there's a question for the commission.
Questions from anyone? Dan?
For the record, name Rudy from the Health Department. I'd like to place into the record my staff report. The applicant's engineer has worked with the Health Department and Campbell Lake Authority to minimize impacts to Campbell Lake. And staff recommends a summary ruling to approve with the 5 conditions shown on page 4.
Questions at the end? None, motion's in order.
Make a motion to approve regulated activity 941 63 Tagan Point Road with, as a summary ruling,
5 conditions.
including the 5 conditions.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve regulated activity 941 with the summary ruling and 5 conditions as attached. Remarks, questions? All those in favor, vote your usual way.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda is regulated activity 940, Powell Street, lot 105. We've asked to table this.
I can make a motion to table regulated activities 940 till next scheduled meeting.
I second that.
Motion been seconded to table regulated activity 940 until 12/12/12. All those in favor, vote to the way.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, regulated activity 942, 14 Newtown Road.
William Goodwell, of Goodwell Construction, representing Riverside Condominium Association. There's existing decks there. They were built in the 80s when the condo was built. They were cantilever designed. Now we're going back and rebuilding the decks. We're putting posts down with footings. Andrew McConnell drew up plans for it, engineer, and the contractor is supposed to do the job.
Given last time.
They don't have, they're just screwed up, there's nothing under it.
There's nothing under it. Here.
You're gonna be right on the side of it.
No, I'm actually 190 feet from the river. I'm in front of the building, the river is in the back of the building.
Any
What
other
do you
questions?
call it's not cantilevered anymore, it's what?
The decks are cantilevered now. I'm going to be rebuilding the decks, and we're going to have 6x6 posts going down, it's concrete buildings.
Got it.
Questions on this from anyone? Any questions? Again? What was saying? Right now, I need a motion to table this until the next meeting.
The motion to table application for regulated activity number 942 to the next regularly scheduled meeting.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to table regulated activity 942 until 12/12/12. All those in favor, vote to the way.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, new business. Regulated activity 943 Fabian Road, Cotswold of Danbury.
Good evening. For the record, Dennis Rebecca, our town engineer, and Office of Brooklyn Connecticut. Here on behalf of the applicant, Cotswold Danbury, for proposed development of a 74.15 acre parcel of land that's located at the north end of Eastwood Road, just to the north of Danbury High School. This property was subject of a prior application some years back for more intense development. And the owners, new owners, however they've shuffled in amongst themselves, have requested that we reapply with a much less intense development that was previously proposed. And the parcel is about 74.15 acres in size. It's actually comprised of two pieces of land. One is roughly 54 acres, which is the southern portion, and then there's approximately another 20 acres located in the northern portion. And what we're proposing to do is concentrate our development in the southwestern portion of the property, which will take place in roughly 20 acres of land. Yes, southwest corner. Should take approximately 20 acres of land for that development, with the remainder of the parcel, about 54 acres, to be left in its existing state. The developers of the property requested that we work closely on our first review, the prior applications, and try and determine where the pitfalls may have been, and how we could improve the development. So we reviewed the old files. We met with staff several times. We met with the staff's wetland consultant, Dr. Danton, to get exactly the ideas that he was concerned with on the original applications. And following that lead, we had additional wetland delineations performed on the property. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But we hired Matt Pop to first define some of the areas that were questioned at the last hearing. And then we went a step further and hired also Theo, who's another soil scientist, to again double check. Theo, P-H-E-A-L. So of this 74-acre parcel, there's about 18.7 acres of wetlands on the property. And that includes a fairly healthy swath of land that lies along the banks of the Paynear Brook, which basically defines the eastern property line of the property, that and Paynear Road. So what we're proposing to do is cluster our development of 44 single-family homes in the southwestern section, again, of the property. All will be accessed by about 1,450 feet of road.
Coming off the Eastwood?
It's coming off of Eastwood Road, yes. As some of the commission members may or may not know, this property was at one time, I guess in the beginnings of the development, there was some homes built, there was some foundations, there was remnants of the drainage and the utilities and so on. Basically left abandoned for probably 30, 40 years now. So there's an existing road base that runs fairly centrally in the vicinity of where we are proposing our road as well. So we'll basically follow the same horizontal alignment, but we'll be adjusting vertical alignment to best suit the needs of the development. And so everyone has a little clearer understanding of what we're proposing. I'll go to a larger scale drawing. Sorry to make you squint, but I wanted to first get your position on the property as a whole and just show the area that was slated for this development. Enlarge this drawing now that I have in front of you basically depicts that southwestern corner of the property with the 44 homes proposed to serve this property. We're proposing municipal water. Municipal water currently, there are a number of locations for water, but following the recommendations of the city engineering department and the director of superintendent of public utilities, they have recommended that we extend the water service basically from Danbury High School. So run it up all the way Eastwood Road, and then connect into our development and run it right to the end of the proposed road that we have. Sanitary sewer for this development. We're going to propose to collect the sewage basically in a central direction, both going from the south to the north and then from the north to the south, centrally located on the site, and then route down an existing road bed or old road bed, and then go quite a ways along this old road bed, and then turn to the east and connect into the sanitary sewer that runs along the edges of the Paynear Brook. Stormwater, It's a fairly big issue on the property. There is currently remnants of a drainage channel that used to run, and still for some portions runs along the western property line. And associated with that channel that exists, there are remnants of catch basins and pipes and all sorts of things that have, over the years, due to, I guess, lack of maintenance or whatever, poor workmanship, this ditch has been breached and overcome by water, and it's caused extensive erosion through the property, and it continues, it's a living thing. The wetlands or the water courses continue to change and evolve every time it rains and the water runs down. So what we're proposing to do is to once again capture that water and control it, stop the erosion from occurring. So in doing our proposed modifications to that ditch, we will capture a substantial amount of water that comes from points west, goes all the way up to Clockwood Road. Some sizable drainage areas, and we'll take some of that water that runs down and route it straight through, basically following the existing channels and areas where the water discharges, and discharge right to basically the same spot where the drainage currently discharges at the southern end of the area of development. Then, in various points along the development, we'll capture some more of the runoffs that come from pipes that are pointed right at the property. We'll capture that with head walls and or that swale, and also route some of that drainage either straight through, if it is collected at the northern end of our proposed development, we'll either route it straight through to the wetlands associated with the area, or for the smaller storms, we'll take that drainage and route it through a couple of water quality basins that are located to the east of the proposed home sites. Now, this map is a 50 scale map. It makes things look small, but in reality, this first water quality basin that we have proposed is roughly 255 feet long and about 35 to 40 feet wide throughout. So it's a substantial basin, although roughly 255 feet long by about 35 to 40 feet wide. So again, it's a sizable basin. And as it filters through and discharges from here, it will continue on to yet another water quality basin, which is a little bit smaller in size and a little bit more oddly shaped. But it too will help with the water quality prior to discharging to the main area located along that property line. I had spoken earlier of wetlands and areas that were of concern to the commission originally. In the original application, they were just not defined on the prior maps. That's what we went through great efforts to define and determine where the areas were, and primarily they were the office area that we're looking to develop. And I'll turn to the next page, the map, which again represents the southwestern portion of the property that we're looking to develop. And it was clearer when we drew it, but these larger areas that are colored in green or highlighted in green represent actual little wetland areas that appear to be remnants or caused by incomplete grading and proper grading and over the years areas where water is collected. In the blue, we've colored in swales that run water. Sometimes when it rains, sometimes after the rain events, water continues to flow. Some of these channels are, well, primarily this, for instance, this southern channel is where discharge comes from properties to the west has overtopped the swale that runs along the west property line and continues on down through the site. There's a wetland located at the south. It looks like this area perhaps was over-excavated and kept lower than the existing foundation. Foundations don't show up too well, but in general, there's remnants of a foundation here, remnants of a foundation here, another one here, another one here, and so on. And with these foundations and areas where graded driveways were placed, the beginnings of driveways that washed away, since it seems that these pockets of cool areas have found ways to allow the water to relieve itself and discharge further down the slope. Some of these water courses and channels actually follow existing pipes. You can actually see the pipes that were laid in. There's gravel around the pipe, corrugated metal pipes, and the water follows that. And how the water gets into it, whether it's from a catch basin that's been silted up or slowly percolating, or if it's over time the cover is washed away, you can't tell. But these are the areas that were of concern to the commission in the prior applications. I guess it was a concern because they were not identified, acknowledged. Now with our proposed development, because the wetlands are associated with old existing foundations, which when you take a sidewalk, I'm assuming the commission will certainly want to walk the site, you'll see that there are foundations, they're in various forms of decay and collapse. All these will have to be removed as part of this development. And as we remove them, then we'll also be impacting wetlands and water courses and runoffs that are currently existing associated with the prior development. In total, the wetland impact to this area, actually throughout the entire development, is roughly 7,056 square feet of wetlands that would be eliminated or impacted. And we are proposing some of the wetlands to remain, and we're creating little pockets similar to this larger one in various areas on the site. So we're looking to give back or end up with a total net loss of wetlands of about 3,722 square feet. And in 3,722 square feet roughly. And these water courses or ditches or pipes with gravel that are flowing and conveying water, they total up about 2,207 feet. And these, again, these areas will be mitigated to some extent. Preservation of the area of wetlands that is located in the southernmost corner of the site. There's a pocket of wetlands that we were proposing to create similar to this existing building in this centrally located, central area located on the site, just above this eyebrow driveway that we're proposing. Similarly, a little further to the north, we've got another wetland area that we're proposing to enhance and preserve as part of our development. But I think the biggest and the key to this development, what makes this different, this proposal different from what was previously proposed, is again that we are concentrating our development just in this southwestern corner of the property and leaving the remaining 50-some odd acres in its existing condition. And in those 50 acres, there's considerable wetland areas associated with larger channels that flow from properties and drainage ditches from the west and also follow along the roadbed that was created as part of the original development that was proposed and half, quarter, or tenth built on the site many years ago. Now, I realize it's a lot of information, and that the commission would probably want to schedule a public hearing and schedule a sidewalk. And what I may do is, rather than continue on with other facts and numbers, maybe I can hold off and make additional presentation when the public is invited to listen and attend and so on. And at this point, I can answer any questions that.
I have a question for you.
Yes,
You going to channel some of this water down to the Pavilion Brook?
yes, sir.
It overflows its banks every time it rains. Are you going to do anything with the Pavilion Brook? Any dredge or anything?
We're not going to make any changes to the pavement.
Or make it like worse down in the gas station, once it's flooded out, it's down the bottom down there.
Yeah, the
Talking about
pavement.
the Pavilion Brook Bridge.
Well, again, the Pavilion Brook is a large brook, and it's controlled by the reservoir that's located immediately to the north of this site. So it's kind of the beginnings of the flood, and I can look into what causes it to flood and how it causes it to flood.
I don't have to help,
but
it's
it's
not taking
Yeah,
pictures.
but it's been identified by FEMA as with a 100-year floodplain and floodway, and there are a number of properties that do take on water in the local storms. But to that end, we're not looking to control or change anything. It's something that's beyond the scope of this development, or anything that we can do locally.
Anyone else have any questions at this time?
I would just ask the chairman that we do put this as a public hearing, and that the wetlands be flagged, and the sidewalk scheduled, and possible reduction, rather than have that work go straight down with the changes that you're proposing, have a reduction in slowing it down to address the Pavilion Road before it occurs.
Mr. Chair, is there a way for you to calculate the increase in water flow to Pavilion Brook from the way the site is now to the way the site would be after your mitigation?
Yes, we have drainage calculations. I believe a truncated version of those was submitted with the application.
Is it? It's an enormous amount of information. I'll have to go through it.
And that's a truncated version. We can get into the numbers for you.
The difference between the outflow at that point, the flow into the brook, the actual numbers. Bernie's right. When there's a large storm, it's unreal.
It's unwieldy. I mean, it's
And obviously, we
can't control.
can't control the whole Pavilion Brook from the one site. If we're going to make an impact to that area, we'd like to see a reduction.
Anyone else? Yeah, did you have anything to say?
And we, for the health department, it's just that we could arrange a sidewalk, preferably before the public hearing. It's the time of the year right now, when the vegetation is down, we get a good look at the lay of the land on it.
Before it snows a lot.
Correct?
Right now, I mean, now is the time to look.
It's a big project.
It's a big project, and when it's summertime, it gets very thick. I mean, it's.
Yeah, we've been up there so many times. Right now, I need a motion to send this to a public hearing. The date will be determined, presented at our next meeting on 12/12.
I'll make a motion that we submit regulated activity 943 to a public hearing.
Second.
Remarks? All those in favor, vote either way.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're going to do an on-site. You're going to flag the wetlands, correct?
Yes, we'll double check the wetlands. I think a good portion of them, at least in this, in the upper reaches are the flags are still there. Below, surveyors double check. And is the commission also interested in the lower wetland delineation as well? Or primarily interested in the upper?
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see
Want to see the lower two? Okay.
And would it be acceptable just to put the ribbons in the southern portion, where we're proposing to do the work, or do you want?
There's no reason to go way out there. There's no reason to go way out.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your consideration, and we'll report back to staff with respect to timing of the flaggings and.
Okay, we'd like to get it before it's possible. Now the 12th, we'll have the date set in the public hearing by then. Dr. Williams' report, did you read that in this meeting? They said they had this, they said they had Dr. Danbury out there already. Did you receive any reports?
No, just in a pre-application mode, no formal reports.
We should send them out for a formal report.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, fine. The interim tables to.
Motion to table regulated activity 943 to the next scheduled meeting.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, table regulated activity 943 to 12/12/12. All those in favor, vote your usual way.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
New business, we have 39 North Abbey Road, regulated activity 944. Michael Henry for Henry Farm LLC.
Okay.
Everybody here?
Good evening. For the record, Dale Marcus, Stone Wolf, PC, on behalf of Henry's Farm, with me, Ralph Gallagher. This application was requested in connection with the information that we filed in response to the cease and desist order originally. So the application seeks to get a declaratory ruling based on the fact that the bill that's going on is in connection with a reclamation of a pasture, a farm lot. And you have a copy of this? Yeah, my copy. I think you're familiar with the site because it's the same site that we were discussing under the cease and desist. It's about, almost 6.5 acres. It's at the intersection of North Abbey and the K Road, and the Henrys have been living there and using this for many years for farming activities. They are a certified farm. They operate under the auspices of the Connecticut Department of Agriculture to the extent that they're required to. They are taxed as a farm, farmland. They do everything that a farming operation needs to do. Under the regulations of the EIC, as I read them, if work is done in connection, there's certain types of work that are done as of right, which allows the filling of wetlands, but not where they have flow. It does not allow the filling of streams that have flow, but all the work that's proposed here falls under the permitted as of right. None of it would be prohibited. We are not anticipating the construction of any buildings or structures for any type of use at this point. So what's there is merely to do some filling of the site, to do some grading, and then to cover it with topsoil. And the material that we're using is actually terrific with the reports. It is very clean. It was tested by Cherry Hill on the site in Brookfield where it was mined, and then it was tested by the Henrys because there was a question, how do we know that what we got, what Cherry Hill represented there, selling to us is accurate. Can I build Cherry Hill? Was that?
Cherry Hill was where?
Cherry Hill is a contractor out of Brantford, Connecticut, and they were working on the two sites in Brookfield, which were BJ's and Costco, and this, of course, came out of the BJ's site. So we know that the quality of the material is good, it's usable for residential purposes, and that's about it. Ralph has put together the maps, and Henry Mueller has gone out and identified the soils, and we've marked where the wetlands occur on the site, and most of the fill that is an area that is adjacent to wetlands. There is a slight amount of fill that may have been in the wetlands itself, but not much. And that's that's the extent of the work that has been done. So we will answer any questions. I know the commission's anxious to have sidewalk.
I just wanted a couple things.
Yes,
I'm not going to dispute this right now, whether it qualifies as a farm or not. But we still, I'm not going to dispute right now whether this is a farm or not. We still ultimately have the ruling on that.
Yeah.
I believe you wanted administrative approval, which I cannot entertain at this time until we do it on site and have Dr. Danzer there.
That's fine. We were trying to set that up for you, and we didn't realize.
Fell apart that one day.
Yeah, because we didn't realize Dr. Danza, we actually just thought that Dan was gonna go out and meet with the Henrys, but then when they decided to bring in their experts, then they would have Henry Mueller there to listen and
And that's fine,
understand.
we want to have any of the commissioners that would like to go on the on-site view also.
Okay, so I think that is something that we can still put together.
At this point in time, what I'd like to do is table this until we get Dr. Moore and Dr. Danzer and the commissioners out there for an on-site. There's no other way we can do this, it's going to have to
I
be.
don't know whether Ralph would be happy with that, but we want to support that.
Good. The one thing I wanted to report to the commission is they had asked me about the quality of fill.
Oh, yeah, good.
I took the 1997 Danbury topography, and Mr. Henry had assured me nothing had happened between 1997 and last April. I overlaid the two, I did quantities, and similar to our application for grading, it's around 5,000 yards, plus the topsoil that came in on top. And that material, topsoil material is outside the regulated area, it's more than 100 feet from the wetland, so really it's around 5,000 yards.
I'd like to see that.
So,
I'd like to see that. I don't know, I was standing on the mountain at one point.
well, some of it was cut from the
Site.
upper part of the site.
Yeah, so the
Pushed down.
dogs-
The fill that came in was approximately 5,000 yards. There may have been 6 or 7 moved total. I'm sorry, there may have been 2,000 extra moved, but we're going about 5,000 per day.
Do you have any questions on this at this point?
I just have a question. What is the reason for something planning on?
It's in the application, it's expansion of a fallow area, which is an area that is alternately planted and grazed, and it's part of the expansion of the farm.
I would encourage you, when we have an outside to go there, it's an expansion of the farm, but I haven't seen the farm yet. So you might want to pay attention to this. Go from this side to the other. Any of that information we have in finance, I can send it to you. We should all read up on it, okay?
At the moment, is there anything else that you're missing that you need? Someone to take a look at the site. What do you, stolen around or not stolen? You agree.
What I'd like to, what I need now, actually, is a motion to table until 12/12/12 with an on-site to be done before that.
I'd like to make a motion to table regulated activity 944 until the next regularly scheduled meeting on 12/12, with the sidewalk proceeding the next meeting.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, table regulated activity 944 until 12/12/12, at which time an on-site should be done before that date. All
Cease and desist orders?
Yes. No.
Yes. Yes, it is. Still,
they closed the proceeding on it, but my understanding is that we are limited, I mean, we can't fill in a wetland or regulated area pending this determination. We're not.
We assume that
We're
the cease and desist, we couldn't do any more activities in a regulated area. But we still can do the other things that
We're not regulated.
are not, and in areas that are not regulated outside of it.
So no work is reasonable, no trucking needed,
Not in the regulated area or in the wetlands, no.
You're not trucking anything in there.
Not into the regulated area or into the wetlands, no. They're probably the top soil on top. More than 100 feet from the wetlands on top, it's waiting to be spread.
Okay.
Right?
And now that we have Bowler out there, we actually understand exactly what the distances are.
It'll be leftovers, I already have a motion made and seconded to table. All those in favor, vote your usual way.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, pardon me?
Yes. You good? Okay. Not moving, don't, thank you. You don't want to shoot. Thank you.
All set now? Okay, we already voted from our new member. And Nicole, and you're going to get sworn in. Each one see you sworn in. All right. Okay, we have to accept the minutes of 11/14/12. I need a motion.
Motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded to accept the minutes for 11/14/12. Any remarks, questions, additions, omissions? Finding none, all those in favor, vote your usual way.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. There's some correspondence in your packet. I believe we were given something on farmlands, did you not put something in there? Okay. Future agenda items, we need to have a nominating committee to come back on 12/12/12 with a recommendation for officers to be elected in December and take office in January. I'm appointing the following committee: Bill Mills, Matt Rose, and Mike Esposito. The three have roughly 3 weeks to put it together. You might want to call the president officer, see if anyone will be. They're appointed as a nominating committee. Next item on the agenda is adjournment.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, vote your usual way.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Meeting adjourned at 7:53.
Anytime you can work the cycle. It's well, two issues there.
Nice, time.
Thank you, Derek.
Yeah. The table. Passage back.
Yep, it's on.
It's